everyone. Wanted to touch base today and about some questions. I know there's lots of questions right now going on with what happened at Westside for over the weekend and why we closed that site at this point. First, before I even get into that, I just want to thank you all again for all the work you're doing. I know that this is a lot right now. There's a lot on everyone's plate, and everyone's stretched way beyond their comfort zones. This is all something that none of us are prepared for or educated in, and just figuring out all the pieces. And just want to say again how much I appreciate all that you guys are doing with that to make this work for all of our kids. We are monitoring positive cases all the time, and those change as someone tests positive. Our numbers, it changes from one day to the next, or sometimes throughout the day we see positive cases. I think that's one of the questions we get a lot is, so and so is gone, they must be positive, must have COVID. And that's not necessarily the case. People certainly who test positive are out, but there's also close contacts of people who are positive, and then there's people who have symptoms that went to be tested and are waiting for test 2, and those people are out too, whether it be staff or students. We know that no one wants to stay home. We know that people want to be here. We want our students here, and we want to be here, and it's hard to be home. I've got 4 kids at home myself, and it's it's hard to be home and get things done when it's out of our work routine. We're just following those directives from public health, MDH, and the CDC, and we know that's important. That's some of the things that they've really stressed. Last week on Friday afternoon and on Saturday, we saw some increase in staff numbers that were quarantining for one of those reasons, either positive tests or close contacts or showing symptoms and had to be out. And as we looked at those numbers and started to climb, we decided it was safest right now to move that site to a full distance learning. It'll be for a 2-week period is what we're looking at. Get that 2 weeks that covers quarantine for those that need to have that from that site, and then just kind of a time to get the building deep cleaned and some of those extra things taken care of at that site, so we can hopefully return on October 26th. That's our plan. These timelines are tough. I get asked that quite often too. Or how much time are we going to get? How much notice do we get? When we left Friday, we still didn't see all the numbers that indicated we necessarily had to. We were certainly watching it, had some questions about it. It was over the weekend that we decided we needed to make that move. So I can't promise how much notice we'll have. We're going to give you as much notice as we can, and as soon as we make a decision, we'll be sharing that with staff, because I know you need time to prepare and be ready for that, and not just prepare for your classroom, but for your own families as well. So I do recognize that, and that's something that we know is important. There's also questions that I'm getting about, well, who, you're not telling me who, or that sort of thing. We can't share that information. That's the HIPAA laws. It would be a violation of HIPAA laws to share that. So the private information as far as who's testing positive, we can't say. Our dashboard on our website is updated on a weekly basis. That includes total numbers of positives and quarantines. Some of those more general numbers are things that we can share out. The specifics of who, we can't share that with you. If the person who has a test chooses to share with you, they're welcome to do so, but that's up to them. If they want to share that, they don't have to share that information. At this time, I just encourage everyone to continue to think about how your classroom is going to run if we do have to move to distance learning in additional sites. Each site has a distance learning framework, and we're certainly meeting to work out some more of those details. Had a meeting last week with some members of the EA, some representatives from there, and just talked about some input from there too. So some of those feedback pieces are going to come out too, and we realize we need to get some more details out. Some of the things we're looking at specifically right now are what our classroom schedule is going to look like. What about prep time? What about some office hours to be able to connect with kids in distance learning? Just some of those questions I know people need answered to be ready should this happen at different sites. We know distance learning isn't going to look the same this fall as it did last spring. We also recognize it has to be manageable for both our students and our staff. Academic rigor is very important, but so is meeting the SEL needs. So we know we have to find a balance with that, and those are conversations that are going to be happening at each site. And I know Beth is sharing some information with everyone about PLCs and trying to get some extra time to prepare some of the different pieces you need prepared for too. One reminder before I log off for this, just want to share, if you're sick, stay home. If you're in quarantine, stay home. If you need items out of your classroom, arrange with your administrator. We can get contactless delivery. We'll get you the things you need out of your classroom. Wear your masks. Practice social distancing. Wash hands. All these things we're telling kids. We need to make sure we're modeling that for our students as well. Just helps mitigate that spread of COVID. It's one of those things that none of us likes having the mask on. None of us likes that social distance, and we need to remember to remind each other of those things sometimes. we remain in this together. We're gonna get through this, and every day is gonna be a new day, and we explore what happens with those things. Everyone, and stay healthy. Thank you.